everyone. This is Madeline Dale with the Chapter Goddess, and I have another amazing author for you guys to meet today. I have with me Dave Welch, and he is going to be talking to us about his amazing book, Evolving Crane, Book 1. So, Dave, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your amazing book.
Okay, well, hey, everybody. My name is Dave. I came up in Macon, Georgia, born and raised. It's a city, I want to say maybe about an hour and a half south of Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody know Atlanta, but not too many people are familiar with Macon. Actually, a lot of famous people came from Macon. You got Little Richard came from Macon, Georgia. What's that guy's name? James Brown, that dude. He stayed in Macon for a while too. But just to give you like a quick history, but I stayed in Macon for a good minute. I moved to Warner Robins, went to high school there. I was a Northside Eagle fan, played in the band, all that jazz. And I was somewhat of a nerd, and I still am. I love to write and I love to draw. I just couldn't get into that, that lifestyle of just, all of the gang activity and all that stuff was happening in Macon. And I wanted to get away from it all. And I ended up moving to Atlanta, and I went to college at the Art Institute. I took up media arts and animation. I wanted to learn how to make cartoons because I had this cartoon in my head and I had been working on it for like 25 years. It's called Men of Slugs. And it's actually an adaptation of the novel Evolving Crane. So that's kind of how things got started with that. And I really wanted to get the cartoon out, but I didn't have the money because to make a cartoon, it's like billions and trillions of dollars. And then it takes almost 3 times as much as people just to get a cartoon created. And I was like, I can't put this out. I don't have that type of money. I don't know that many people. And something hit me and it was like, why don't you just write it? So I was like, oh man, because I've got it all in my head. I've got tons of episodes in my head. If I could just find a way to take these episodes and put them on paper, then, I could pretty much get the story out and hopefully build a fan base, get enough guys together and that kind of see the same dream as I do. And they want to see the same cartoon on TV. I'm like, let's do it. Give it a shot. What do you got to lose? So I started writing, and here I am now writing books.
That is amazing. And where did you get the inspiration for the characters that inspired this story?
Oh man, I want to say it started when I was about 10. I was doing a lot of TV watching, cartoons. I played a lot of video games, the early 90s video games like Contra, Lightning Force, stuff like the Ninja Turtles arcade game and Mortal Kombat. And those guys was just coming out. Oh man, I was like, man, this is some really cool characters. These are some really great original ideas. I want to do my own thing, come up with my own characters. And I would see, Lightning Force. I would see Silverhawks and Thundercats and all these guys coming on TV. And I'm like, man, I'm going to make my own cartoon, And I started building the cartoon. I started building the characters. And I was like, I need a lot of characters. And I want them to have abilities that ain't nobody else got. Everybody running fast, everybody flying. Let's come up with something different, And that's how I started developing the characters, just seeing all of these different cartoons and all of these video games in the early 90s, early 2000s. And it just started, it was like a snowball from then. I just kept coming up with ideas, and I had to put a break on it because I was like, some of these characters got to die and some of them got to live. So, Yeah.
How did you make your choice between them?
Well, when it came to the writing aspect, there were some characters that played a more prominent role. They were more major than some of the lesser characters, and I tended to just take the guys that were more important, and I gave them more screen time, so to speak. And I thought that they could probably project the story furthermore. And then I ended up using a lot of background characters still. And some of these characters are actually people that I have spoke to in life. They're friends of mine. There are even enemies of mine that I've actually put into the novel. And believe it or not, some of these enemies, they're not killed off. They're still there, you know. But that was a huge inspiration, you know, with some of these guys that came around in my life. People helped me make it through some of the toughest situations, living in the streets and stuff like that. And guys would come out of nowhere and befriend me and give me money and give me somewhere to stay. It was a lot of people that was just really motivating. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this guy in my book, you know.
That is good. That's one thing they say about you never want to offend a writer. They might write you in a book and kill you off. So.
You're right. Yeah.
It's fun we can have with our writing.
Yeah.
Gosh. So what is your writing process like? You mentioned before we started recording that you have another book that you're going to have ready at the end of the month. How do you manage your time to get your work done so quickly?
Oh. Yeah, well, what happens is a lot of this stuff is already in my head, you know, and a lot of the stuff is already written. It just hasn't been edited. So when it starts, I have like a one of these small little notepad things. Get one of these, and I fill it up, you know, scratch, tear stuff out. It's words, incomplete sentences, everything. It's just I just put it all out in the paper, you know. I just vomit it on the paper and write as much as I possibly can. And then I'll go back and I'll type it into Google Docs. I put it in Google Docs because everything is sort of already set up for you. It's the margins and stuff is all that. Yeah. Google Docs.
I use it for my own writing, so I'm with you on that.
Google Docs is the bomb, yo. So I use Google Docs and I'll put it on you know, in there, and I'll situate everything and start making sense of how the story is flowing. Then I'll hire an editor. I hire maybe like 2 editors.
Yeah.
And I'll send it to these guys. I use Fiverr, and there's another Reedsy. I use those two. Between those two, and those guys have like a plethora of editors, marketing agents. I mean, guys are like top notch. You know,
that's good.
Even cover designers, like book designers. Front covers and back covers, those guys are, you know, they got a huge selection. And I just go to them, I drop it in their laps, and they go through it, they edit it, they send it back to me, I'll approve it. And from there, I'll put it in Microsoft Word. Once I put it in Microsoft Word, it'll detect stuff that I didn't see the first time.
Yeah.
And things that they maybe didn't notice as well. And then I'll go through it again, do like a final line edit. After that, I'm ready to put it out. I'm ready to put it in Amazon and get some feedback. But before I do that, I'll actually send it to like a group of, I got a newsletter, and I'll send it to a group of guys there and like beta readers. They'll go through it and they'll be like, yo, man, this is the stupidest thing I ever heard. You need to take this and switch this chapter around. They'll tell me all kind of stuff. I had this one lady, she was like, yo, you don't need a corkscrew to open a bottle of champagne. Why is she looking for a corkscrew? I was like, what? You mean to tell me I need to go and change that? And you know, reality set in, and I was like, she's right. You don't need a corkscrew. That defeats the whole purpose. So, you know, it's information feedback like that I get from these guys, and it gives me a chance to go in and make some, you know, realistic edits to the novel. And then once I, you know, get it crispy clean and it's all psyched up and ready to go, from there, I'll just go ahead and launch it and see what happens. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's a great process. Beta readers and ARC readers like that, they are like, it's priceless having them, because there's always a second set of eyes, misses things every time. And you're like, oh, what?
Yeah, they're the gold, man. They're like the gold mine. And I tell any author, especially like indie authors, go ahead and just give your book away. Don't try to get like a mass quantity of money first, because, you know, not too many people want to pay to read a crappy book. You want to put a book out. And I was telling this other lady too, and I was like, writing a book is like starting a business, right? If you run a restaurant, let's say you sell sub sandwiches, right? and you've got a sandwich, you want to put a sandwich out there in front of people. You sell the sandwich and somebody eats the sandwich and they're like, yo, this sandwich is disgusting, man. What is this? And you want to know that the sandwich is bad. You want the customer to give you that feedback. They got to come back to you and be like, yo, add some mayonnaise, put some pepper on here, maybe a little bit of hot sauce, do something to this sandwich because it's trash. I don't want to eat this ever again. Okay. So when they tell you that, you know what to do. And it's the same thing with writing. You put your product out there, your sandwich, so to speak, and customers, they take it in, they read it, they digest it, and they bring it back to you. They're like, hey man, this sandwich isn't quite that good. Maybe you should do this, take that out. It's brush up on your ingredients, and then you got to build a sandwich.
That's true. So, and honest feedback is extremely helpful.
It is. Gosh. I swear.
So have you ever dealt with writer's block in your creativity?
I have. It only lasts for about a minute because whenever I get writer's block, I'll start writing about writer's block. I'll make a story about writer's block and it just vanishes. It, still starts coming to me. My imagination starts flowing and I take what I get and I convert it into my story. And then just, let's go. We're rolling now.
That's a good idea. I haven't had anyone say that they write about it yet. Like that.
Yeah, give it a shot, man. Start writing about having.
Yeah. That really is a good method. So it's mine. I've always tried to go for like a walk and stuff. And I'm like, okay, this is no longer working. Like when that no longer works, I'm like, what do you do? So
I find driving helps too, man. Like if I'm driving somewhere and maybe I even have somewhere to go. But if it's like a long distance, maybe I'm traveling up north or maybe to Florida or something. Driving just really clears the brain too. I mean, you see all those different sceneries and it opens up your mind and you can really start to grasp things. Damn.
It's true. So with your cover, are you going to be using the same person that did this cover for your next book?
Ryan Schwartz, man, that guy, he has been the talk of the town. I swear, man. Once he did that cover, it was on, man. Everybody's asking, who did that? And I really need to get back with Ryan and I need to tell him, yo, man, your work is phenomenal, man.
It's awesome.
Yeah, people are really asking about your work and what you're doing. Thank you so much. I congratulate that guy on so many different occasions. I need to send him a book, like a hardback book or something. But I do want to get back with Ryan. The other two novels, because it's a series, the other two books, I went to some other guys and I had them do the covers because I kind of wanted to just spread around a little bit. And after going to them and I see the work that they did, and it's really nice work. It still looks good, but it's just something about the way Ryan just put his elements together and how he presented it all at one time. And we was going back and forth for a while before that cover got finished. It took a minute, man, because he was so busy. I mean, there were so many people getting him to do book covers, and I was like, why is it so tough for you and I to communicate? And he was like, I'm so busy, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get it to you as soon as I can. And when he started, that's when I realized, I was like, this is why he's so busy. Look at this.
Yeah.
I was blown away, man. But I really want to get back with him. I may get with him for the fourth novel and maybe the sixth novel. So I'll see. Yeah.
Yes. That is awesome. Well, do you have something you want to share with our viewers and your readers that they may not know about you just by reading your book or following you on social media?
Yeah, well, I do a lot of digital art pieces, framework, canvases, things of that nature. You can find a lot of that stuff on Facebook. There is a Facebook page called Men of Slugs. Slugs is spelled SLUGGC. This is where you can see all of the digital pieces that I've done. You can see some fan work. And there is also a giveaway that I'm doing with a framed piece of artwork that you can enter to win. You can win it real simply by going and making a 99-cent purchase for Evolving Crane. You read the novel and you leave a review. In your review, mention the word Shattered Image. Shattered Image enters you into the contest to win the framed piece of artwork. So that's kind of where I'm at and what I'm doing right now. If you guys are interested, you can find me on Facebook, Dave Welch, or you can find me online, www.davetheauthor.com. There's a lot of stuff on there, books, connects, links, giveaway stuff, everything.
Awesome. And I am going to have his links in the description box below, guys. So you can definitely check all his stuff out there. All right, Dave, do you have anything else you want to share with our viewers before we call it quits?
Well, no, just thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. Evolving Crane is live now on Amazon. You can look it up. My name is Dave Welch again. You'll see it there. Some more books that are in the pipeline. I got book 2 that's dropping the 30th of this month, and book 3 is dropping the 30th of October, right before Halloween. So that is going to be sort of like a special Halloween type of novel kind of thing. So expect some spooky sci-fi crazy stuff. But yeah, that's all I got now.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, guys,
Thank
make
you.
sure you check out his book and read it. It's awesome.